In 2005, a mere 20,000 solar installations existed in California. Gray Davis was just recalled as governor, and California was reeling from the Enron crisis. Utilities were bankrupt. The debacle cost an estimated $40 to $45 billion. Then came an unlikely bipartisan coalition led by then Republican Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, launching the 1 Million Solar Roofs Initiative. It spun like headlines from a Kennedy moonshot speech, but 15 years later, the 1 millionth solar installation cemented California's solid position as the world's clean energy leader. The cornerstone of solar policy over the past 20 years was the concept of net metering. Until recently, utilities by law were required to credit every kilowatt of solar energy sent to the grid at the same rate they would otherwise charge. That all changed in 2023 when the CPUC granted the investor-owned utilities the permission to dump net metering in favor of what they called a net billing tariff. The dollar-for-dollar reimbursement suddenly switched to an average of 25 cents, a 75% reduction for all new solar customers. Was this move legal? The California Supreme Court will soon decide, hearing arguments on a lawsuit filed in part by our next guest. I'm Billy B, and it's all straight ahead on this edition of Unplugged California. The Environmental Working Group joined a grassroots effort to fight the state and the investor-owned utilities on NEM 3. The group is a plaintiff in the lawsuit. Senior VP of California, Bernadette Del Chiaro, joined us to talk about the latest.
We've teamed up with the Center for Biological Diversity and a local community group in San Diego called Protect Our Communities. And it's basically three public interest publicly funded organizations against the California investor-owned utilities. So PG&E, Southern California Electric, and Sempra, which owns San Diego Gas and Electric, are there defending, along with the state of California, defending their regulations. Their idea is, everybody needs to be connected to the electric grid. And if you're connected to the electric grid, you basically owe PG&E or Edison or San Diego Gas and Electric money for that. You owe them their profits that they feel they are due. And if you generate your own energy from the sunshine that falls directly on your home, your school, your church, you name it, if you generate your own energy, and even worse, if you share that energy with your neighbors, you actually are hurting the state and hurting society because you're not paying your fair share. That's in essence what they've pushed, the narrative they've pushed, and that's how they got the State Public Utilities Commission, the state of California, to adopt incredibly damaging policy changes to the state's net metering policy, which is just the primary driver behind rooftop solar. Everybody has the right to generate their own electricity from the sun. Nobody owns the sun. If you can get your hands on this amazing California invention of a solar panel, if you can attach it to a battery or not, you have that right. So it's just imperative that California continue down the path of building this most promising clean energy resource and keep it in the hands of consumers.
After NEM 3.0 passed and became the law of the solar land, EWG and their cohorts took the PUC to court. And to no one's surprise, it did not go well.
The lower court unfortunately agreed with the PUC. But here's the wrinkle. In any lawsuit, there's sort of two different elements to the case. Usually one is just does the court have the authority to weigh in and tell the state agency that they did something wrong? And then the second is, on the substance of it, did the state agency or did the state in this case do something wrong? The lower court basically said, we don't have the authority. We're going to defer to the state agency because this is the PUC and they're special. That actually in of itself we believe is wrong. And so we appealed to the state Supreme Court. And in a very, very rare turn of events, the state Supreme Court agreed with us that this actually was a viable case. Our complaint was viable and that they were going to take a look at it. And so on June 4th of this year, we had oral arguments in front of the state Supreme Court. It was our side versus the PUC with support of the utilities, and arguing that not only does the state court system have very clear authority over the Public Utilities Commission, but also the Public Utilities Commission defied the spirit and the letter of the law in basically hurting rooftop solar the way they did with their net metering decision.
Let's follow the money, where the paths lead, and why.
California's investor-owned utilities are some of the most profitable corporations in California. If you really look under the hood, it's quite amazing. They make more money than some of the biggest companies in the state. And if you follow the money here in Sacramento, you can see that those profits are being reinvested in public policy designed to keep their stranglehold on California's energy resources. So there's a nonprofit journalistic outfit called Cal Matters, and they recently published 2024 political spending in California. And if you add up the investor-owned utilities expenditures, both in terms of direct campaign contributions to politicians, but also funding the legions of lawyers and lobbyists that they employ, if you add those investor and utilities expenditures together, it makes actually California's utilities the biggest spender by far. And so that really speaks volumes to how much money they have and what they're willing to spend to take down rooftop solar. We're all publicly funded through individual donations, and there's no way we can match that kind of spending.
Where does NEM 3.0 go from here? A decision in favor of the utilities will keep the status quo. However, if NEM 3 is overturned, it will send the PUC and the utilities back to the drawing board to hammer out a new net metering plan. With resources and legal firepower heavily favoring the utilities, don't be surprised if their loss ends up appealing to either the Ninth Circuit Court or even at some point the U.S. Supreme Court. Net metering cutbacks are already in progress in at least 5 other states. From surfboards to solar panels, California has always set the pace for the nation and the world. Will the endless solar summer continue, or are we heading for a wipeout? To receive the latest updates, please like and subscribe for more news and views that shape California energy and your life. For Unplugged California, I'm Billy B. Thanks for watching.